In this training video, we will look at how to submit a business request to the legal department via a website program called Legal Desk. So what is the reason or function for Legal Desk? Legal Desk will allow you, the business user, to submit a request to the legal department in respect of a piece of work or matter that you would like their assistance with. For example, the creation of a new contract, addendum to an existing contract, a dispute assistance, etc. How do I access Legal Desk? You can access it via internet browser, either Chrome or Edge, and by specifying the URL as indicated below. If at any point you are requested for login details, you can use the following. In the username details is your full email address, and then for password is your current Windows password. However, you can also access it easily from the Astron intranet. You can double click on the intranet shortcut on your desktop and then click on the group drop down at the top right hand side of your browser. You can select the Legal Desk from the list options, navigate to the Legal Desk logo, click on that logo to access the Legal Desk tool. This will also redirect you to the URL as mentioned in the previous slide. Once again, if you are requested any login details, specify for username your full email address and password your current Windows password. We will now look at the steps to be taken to submit a business request to the legal department via Legal Desk website. As mentioned before, you can access the Legal Desk website by entering a URL in either Chrome or Edge. At this point, it's always a good idea to maybe add it as a favorite for yourself in order to easily access it in future. Remember that it's also available on the Astron internet site as a shortcut link. Once the request page then displays, you will see all your previous requests indicated in the request grid. In order to submit a new request, you can click on the Submit Request button on the top right corner. At that point, you can select what type of request you want to put through to your legal department. In our case, we're going to put a contract and a document request. A form will then load for you to specify the information required by the legal department. Take note of any fields with the little asterisk next to it, meaning they are mandatory fields. Also take note of the little I buttons next to certain fields to give you an indication of what information might be required within that field. For our request subcategory, we're going to select that we want a new contract from the legal department. You can then specify your business unit. I'm going to select CFO, for example, and depending on what you select, as you can see, a new field called department suddenly popped up. So depending on my business unit, other fields might pop up. So here I have to select then a specific department, and I'm going to select compliance, for example. Then I can specify what contract type I would like from the legal department to be generated. And I can select my MSA 1000 in this example. As I select that, you could see that another tab popped up in the top right here, or in the middle, in order for me to complete information coming up shortly. So you can specify yourself as a requester. You don't have to scroll through the entire list. You can, for example, just start typing your name, and you can see that you can then select it easily from the drop down. You can specify your request date, which will probably be the date that you are requesting it, and then give to the legal department indication of when you would like this contract to be completed or the request to be completed. These bigger text boxes are multi-line text boxes, meaning I can provide a lot of information to my legal team to assist them with my request. Similar, history and background on matter is also a multi-line text box, but you can see that it's not mandatory. The counterparty name is a mandatory field. However, this is a search and create field. You can see as I click on it, there's certain values already within this field, right? If I, for example, go and specify Carlo, you can see that he doesn't exist yet, so therefore I can create him in for future use, right? If I specify somebody like Garth, for example, you can see there is Garth Westy, and then I can select him in future use. I'm going to select somebody like Carlo Pagani to demonstrate to you, and I'm going to click create, and then I'll get a message box to say, yes, do I want to create this value in the counterparty field for future use? And now it will be available for you next time when you create another request as such. Is existing matter? Please select no, because you probably won't know the matter code of previous created matters. The legal department can take that into consideration at the time. When you select your general manager field or GM field, please ensure that you select the general manager linked to your business unit that you selected above. The priority and legal entity fields are not mandatory, but it is best practice. The more information you can provide to your legal team, the better it is for them to take in consideration your business request put forward to them. So for the legal advisor field, again, it's a drop down, and please, if you can, select the legal advisor that is usually within the legal team aligned or added to your business unit you selected before. So I'm just going to use myself again. You can see I can just start typing, and there I am. Strategic matter you can just leave as no. Contract administrator and contract administrator email, again, similar to counterparty, they are search and create fields, right? Meaning I can either select from the values already available, or I can create new values. In this case, as I demonstrated it before, I'm just going to select current values that are available in these fields. Then my matter type, you can select the matter type from the list below. This can always be changed by your legal advisor when they accept your request. In this case, we're going to say it's a commercial matter. And then matter subcategory, I'm going to say I would like a new agreement as such. You can then give it a name of your matter, and again, what you think it should be at this time. And the legal department will be able to update it at a later stage as well. And you can see then the matter status can just stay as active. Then you can go to your MSA tab. You can either click next, or you can click just on the tab. And then there will be a whole bunch of required fields on here. Right, just to demonstrate to you, if you click on save and you haven't completed certain required fields, you can see that they will be all marked in red for you to indicate that you have to complete them as such. So you can complete your contract number, the type of legal entity, for example, the registration number, whatever it might be. You don't have to specify the country as such because it's not mandatory. And please specify here as much detailed and correct information as you can, because this information that you provide now will be pushed into the actual contract that is going to be generated by the legal department. Take note again, similar to previous indicated, if I select a certain action, if I select duration, then the term duration field will pop up. If I select specified date, then a term date will pop up with a date field as such that I can select. I can select not applicable here, and for my KPIs I'm going to say yes, and I'm going to specify 1, 2 periods and 3 periods as such. And then the area of operation within South Africa or outside of Africa, because it's also within South Africa, it's not an international company. And then you can select various of these fields, one to many. That will determine certain clauses that are included when the contract is generated as such, right? You're always available or in ability to click on supporting documents and attach any further supporting documents to the legal team that they might want to take into consideration. At that time, you can click on the Save button, and a new request will be generated for you, as you can see 1193 in the request grid. And you will see at a later stage, then your legal department will be notified of this request, and specifically your legal advisor that you selected will receive an email with regards to your request. In this section, we will look at some additional features in respect of your request, how to identify previous requests to search for them, and in order to filter on your previous request to identify their current status, etc. In order to identify any of my previous requests, I can easily use a search bar at the top. So you can specify information in respect of your request that you know. So I, for example, know there was a person called Carlo in my request, and I can click on search, and you'll see how it limits my request for me accordingly. You can always use some of these request headers to sort descendingly or ascendingly in respect of your results. Furthermore, to identify certain of your requests and to filter them by, you can always come to the 3 lines over here, click on there, and any of your fields that was on your forms displayed before, you can add as filters and column headings. So you can then search, for example, for legal advisor and click on search. And you can see you will find legal advisor. You can then double click on the signet that will move it to the right hand side. You can further search, for example, for a field called request date, for example. So I just have that past of request, and there is request date, and I can move it to the right. And I can also search for a filter called contract type. And you can move it to the right. Now you'll see once I click on save, look what's going to happen on the left hand side under your filters as such. I can click on save, and those filters will appear on the left hand side. They will also appear as headings at the top in your request grid as such. Now to easily filter accordingly to identify any requests I might have done at a period of time, I can, for example, go to request date and say, yes, I want to identify this from January 2023, from the 1st up to the current date of April 2023. And then I can click on the little mark there to apply the filters, and you'll see that my requests display accordingly. Further than that, I might want to limit it only to NDA type of contract types, and again I can click on the little icon over there, and then I can use in combination as well then the search bar at the top to say I only want to see anything with Carla in the specific request, and I can click search, and you can see how it limits my search results accordingly. If I need to clear the search, I can always click at the top there. If I have to clear my filters, I can always click on the little trash can at the top to clear my filters, and all my results will display again. So let's have a look after you submitted your request to the legal department. What will happen next to my request I submitted as a business user to the legal department? Once your request has been submitted to the legal department, it will also reflect in their legal desk environment. Most importantly as well, the legal advisor that you requested will be notified in an email with regards to the new request submitted. The legal advisor will then be able to come and review your information submitted and decide to either approve or decline the request. They will be able to click and go approve request, and then be able to peruse all the information that you have supplied to them on the various tabs, inclusive of supporting documentation. If they're happy with all your information provided, they will be able to click on approve, or they will be able to click on notes and provide you with extra notes of information that might have to be provided when submitting this request in case they decide to decline it. In this case, if they approve the request, they would have to specify an acceptance date, and you will be notified regarding then the acceptance thereof. You can then see that you will get a status in your legal desk environment of that it was either completed, or the contract has been accepted, or where it might have been declined, and you will be able to view the reasons why it was declined from a legal department perspective. Thank you, and I trust that the information will enable you to use the legal desk interface. If you have any questions, refer to the legal desk training manual, which is available on the legal desk intranet site, or contact the legal department.